I seen Ethan break his clavicle and still make a block so Chase can score. That's team effort right there, all right? So I want you guys to look deep in yourself, all right? And say, what am I doing to make sure the team's successful? What am I doing to make sure we score this play?
Well, it's that time of the week again. Time for Grind to Shine, a season with Alexander football. I'm Patrick Klinger here with Nathan Wiseman, and we have a lot of great stuff for you here in episode 7. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look back at week 6.
Yeah, Pat, and last week the Spartans traveled all the way to MacArthur, still looking for their first TVC Ohio win, but Nayland Yates and the Vikings had other plans in store. So let's take a look back at all the week 6 action.
Vikings versus Spartans, another tough road test for Alexander this week, and they didn't respond very well in the beginning. Nayland Yates cruises into the end zone for a nice 16-yard touchdown run, giving the Vikings the early 6-0 lead. Alexander with the ball back, 3rd and 5 from the 15. AJ Marks goes 11 yards. A couple penalties would push the Spartans back, but no problem when Chace Harris gets in at QB. He takes this one 7 yards, tying the score at 6-6.
Yeah, and on the ensuing kickoff, senior kicker Brendan Niggemeyer making plays on special teams. He's going to shoot a little pooch kick here, and it's up for grabs, and Connor Kimbrough dives on it right before it goes out of bounds, giving Alexander some momentum, and they would capitalize. Marks takes the handoff, and he breaks a tackle. He just would not be denied the end zone on this one. He scores. Spartans go up 12-6 with 11 minutes left in the second quarter. They actually would get the ball back on another kickoff, and Chace Harris bunny hops his way into the end zone to give the Spartans the 20-6 lead early on.
Yeah, and about halfway through the second quarter, Vinton County finally gets the ball back in their hands, and Caleb Montgomery takes advantage of it for a nice 64-yard touchdown reception. And here, a crazy play before the end of the first half. 4th and 4 with only 17 seconds remaining. Nayland Yates in at QB1, finding every hole in this Alexander defense, and he takes this one 73 yards for a touchdown. And Pat, we've seen this one before.
That's right. Big play for the Vikings. Not so good for the Spartans. And the Vinton County would just keep on rolling in the third quarter. Nevin Yates with a 5-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion is good. 28-20 Vinton County. And they would just continue to dominate in that second half. Nayland Yates with the 70-yard touchdown run here. And Nathan, that one just about put the game away.
Yeah, it definitely did. And Vinton County was also dominant on defense as well. Here, Caleb Montgomery picks off AJ Marks' pass late in the third quarter, and Vinton County would then cruise to a 37-20 victory. Injuries have kind of plagued your team lately. You know, Brandon Wilkinson and Ethan House, unfortunately, out for the year. And then just the other night, Trent Llewellyn and a couple other guys, James Wallace, kind of got banged up. What's the latest on those two guys and maybe some others?
I'd say Trent and James, they're definitely going to be questionable going into this week. I'd say more so than doubtful, if not. But you never know. I mean, it's just another. Injuries are a part of the football game, and you know that coming in. And I think the first few weeks we were very blessed to really get out injury-free, and really that's part of the TVC Ohio too. It's just a physical conference. So I mean, week in and week out, you're going to get beat up. You're going to have those bumps and bruises. But we have a lot of those young guys that are ready now too, and then they have mental reps, and now they're going to have to get physical, really Friday night reps, and they'll be prepared.
And with injuries, like you mentioned, a lot of guys have to get switched around to different positions. One of those guys being Caleb Easley, moved to a receiver to more of a running back, and then kind of a linebacker in defense now.
We really dual train guys and really train them in 3 positions too. So if they're learning defensive back, they're also learning safety, and some of those roles also apply to some of our linebacker things. So I think it just comes back to our preparation and knowing that eventually you're going to have some sort of injuries to where you still want to train these guys to where it's not something brand new when that actually happens. But when you talk about Caleb Easley, it's just he's a fun young man to watch, and wherever you want to put him, he's going to give his everything, and he plays with heart and passion, and he's one of those true Spartans that's been a privilege to be able to coach this year in the next few years.
And with Brandon out and Trent a little banged up right now, the line is pretty young. And then on Friday night,
or quite a few holding penalties. Do you attribute that to maybe the inexperience or just maybe mental reps?
I would say both things. I mean, inexperience definitely is a big thing, but then also Vinton County, who brought some pressure. But I thought really our guys did a tremendous job up front, and you could see it just really in the stat column and able to open up some holes in the running game. But I think their biggest thing was just in our pass protection and giving AJ some time, and really going forward, we're going to be doing probably some more passing type things, just to open some things up and get our other playmakers involved. So that was definitely one of the positive notes from last Friday, was just our pass protection with those guys.
You mentioned Caleb Beasley stepping up, and 2 weeks ago when I talked about Ryan Marks, and he was just starting to get onto the varsity level, and now really he's one of your top offensive threats. How have you seen him grow in just a short amount of time at the varsity level?
And the big thing is just a smart kid, so we can throw him into multiple positions, and he understands what he needs to do. So that's also just one step of it, and the second step is be able to make the plays, and right now he's running tremendous routes and has solid hands to where he's being able to make those plays. So he's definitely been one of those lightning bolts for our offense.
And unlike most people, we have the privilege of being in the huddle after the games, and obviously 5 losses in a row. But after the games, you're never really getting on the guys extremely hard. You always have a positive attitude and say, Spartans never retreat.
Win or lose, at the end of the day, when Friday nights are over, these are also young men, and they have something more than football when it's said and done. And we're trying to approach every single game like more than just football. It's a lot of life skills that we're trying to teach, and really just how us and our coaching staff conduct our life is in a positive mindset. So trying to feed them just a lot of positive words, but then on Mondays we'll be a little bit more harsh, but then and try to build them up. But last Friday, definitely proud just of a lot of young guys getting thrown into the mix of things, and I thought they did a tremendous job. And one thing that we asked for is give everything that they have, and I think that they did that on Friday night.
All right, Spartan fans, it's time to start breaking down that Week 7 matchup where the Spartans look to break that 5-game losing streak, and this week they'll be taking on River Valley. And the Raiders are 4-2 this year, and last year Alexander went into Bidwell and knocked them off 22-12. Nathan, we'll see what happens this time.
Yeah, and that was last year, and this is this year, a completely different team. And last week, River Valley got a big TVC Ohio win over Wellston. Wellston, a team that beat Alexander, so that should be an interesting matchup to see. And again, River Valley has a lot of versatile athletes, including a running quarterback who Alexander has struggled against every week this year.
Yeah, they really have. And as always, it's time to start breaking down the 3 keys to an Alexander victory, one that Coach Penrod would really like to have this week. And first, Nathan, in most of these losses, the one thing they haven't been able to do is stop the run.
Yeah, it's been the story of the year. They've struggled against running teams, and like I mentioned, running quarterbacks especially. And with injuries to these Alexander Spartans, including Ethan Howes, who used to be at linebacker, I would expect some different changes in the formation. I think Chace Harris, guys like Zach Behe, Alex Stalter, if he's good to go, they can transition into that linebacker role, hopefully stop the run that way.
Yeah, Nathan, the seniors like those guys are going to have to step up and make some stops. The Spartans haven't been tackling very well, and that's not faring very well for them. They're letting teams in the end zone and giving up a lot of points, leading to these losses. So we'll see if they can get that fixed up here for Week 7. And the second key to a Spartan victory is playing 2 halves of football.
Yeah, and that's something they haven't done in a while. And last week, they really controlled the time of possession. Vinton County barely had the ball the entire first quarter, but when they did finally get the ball, they had some explosive plays. Yates, man, he had a cannon of an arm and could also do some work on his feet. And one key play was right before the end of the first half when Yates had a 73-yard touchdown, and that really deflated all the energy that Alexander had. They were up by a score, then they tied the game 20-20 all at halftime. And most of the time when we go into the locker room at halftime, they kind of just look defeated. This week they did a better job of trying to work out their problems, but when they came out in the second half, all that talk didn't end up in results, and they just came out flat. And so that's really going to need to change going forward.
Yeah, Nathan, we saw it with Athens, down just 1 point going into the locker room, and with Vinton County deadlocked at 20, and the Spartans just weren't able to go into the second half with that same effort that they had in the first half, which resulted in those 2 losses. And finally, the last key to success for Alexander is going to be scoring in the red zone.
Yeah, and because of how many points this defense has been giving up, it's crucial for every time Alexander has the ball to score. And last week we saw it against Vinton County. They actually had 2 early touchdowns that were called back because of holding penalties, and that they can't afford to have that against a tough team like River Valley this week. But I think one positive about this Alexander offense is that their passing game has improved a little bit. Instead of just relying on Chace Harris, they've been able to rely on guys like Ryan Marks and Connor Kimbrough, especially on those bubble screen type of plays to get vertical vertical. So I think that's one positive that they can take going into this River Valley matchup.
Absolutely, and with the way the defense has been playing of late, they're definitely not going to need to waste any opportunities. They're going to need to score as much as they can to get the victory, and the offensive line up front is going to have to get the push to get AJ and Chase, guys like that, into the end zone. And one guy on that offensive line that's going to need to take charge is freshman Luke Chapman, and he's in a rare situation where he's playing a lot of varsity minutes just in his first year of eligibility. So this week I had the chance to meet up with him and pick his brain about his role on the team. All right, Luke, and we never seem to let you guys rest. Even after practice, we're bugging you guys. So, first thing, I guess, just, a lot of people don't get to play a whole lot of minutes as a freshman. So, I mean, what's it like for you to be able to play all this varsity football and just be so young?
I mean, at the beginning of the season, it felt like a little crazy just because it's a lot faster in varsity level than junior high. Kids a lot bigger, kids a lot stronger, kids a lot faster. So, I mean, but after a couple games or after the first scrimmage, games start slowing down for you after a while.
Yeah, and I mean, being young, I mean, it takes, there's a lot of disadvantages that kind of come with that. I mean, so what do you think is like the most difficult part of the season so far for you?
I would say probably that first scrimmage, because they were just coming, game was just crazy fast. Yeah. So it was a little bit of slap in the face, but then after that, start calming down, then game starts slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're halfway through the season now, so I guess that'll happen to you. Would wonder how slow it'll be once you get to next couple years down the road. And with all these offensive line injuries, I mean, you've been one of the staples up front, even as a freshman. So what's that like to have all those guys going down and, you have to step up and be a leader with just 6 varsity games under your belt?
I mean, like Coach Coop, he cross-trained us where we're learning all 5 positions, everything at once. So once, if that new left tackle's new, the position so you can help him out if he doesn't.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the Chapman legacy a little bit here. I mean, that last name carries a lot of weight around these parts. So, I mean, with Mason and Corey being so successful and being such a big part of that TVC Ohio Championship run last year, I mean, do you feel any pressure being the next Chapman up?
Nah, not really. I mean, they're always supporting me no matter what. Corey's always on the sideline giving me tips. Having that iPad on the sideline really helps a lot. Just seeing what you do, just being new to the game. Well, not new to the game, but new to the faster pace. So it's helped me a lot, just having him on the sideline. And then you can always talk to Mason about anything.
Yeah, and I know Corey, helps coach the team now, and Mason's stopped by a few practices earlier on in the season, but are those guys giving you any kind of advice, off the field?
I mean, yeah, they're just same family relationships. You can always go talk to them no matter what. They're always there for you.
Yeah, and since we've been covering the team, man, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're making a huge block or you're getting destroyed on a play. I mean, you're always smiling like you are right now. So, I mean, where does that come from? Why are you always smiling?
I don't know. Just since when I was a kid, I was just always smiling no matter what. So, I mean, I guess it's a pretty good quality to have.
I was going to say, that's not a bad thing by any means. There are way worse things to have happen. But, yeah, it's just cracking me up. But, being on the offensive line, that's a group that doesn't get a whole lot of credit. I mean, I'm all about giving those guys credit when credit is due. So do AJ and Chase ever come over and make it a point to say thank you when they get in the end zone?
Oh yeah, for sure. Every play, if you get a good block, good push, they're thanking you all the time.
As they should. I mean, they wouldn't. I mean, I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but AJ and Chase have gotten in the end zone quite a few times, and without you, that wouldn't be happening. So they owe you.
They come to us right after a touchdown, so it makes us feel pretty good about what we do.
Yeah, sure thing. And just the last thing I got for you, I mean, if you could play one other position on the field that wasn't, on the line, where would it be?
Oh, quarterback for sure.
Quarterback?
Oh yeah, I already told coaches I'm coming for it next year.
Okay, all right. Well, I want to see a little bit of your receiver game here. So the last thing, take off your mic, and I want you to run a little route for me. I want to see how good your hands are. Yeah? All right, let's see it. Oh man, Coach Penrod's got his hands full next year with the decision.
Funniest coach on the team.
Coach Coop.
Favorite all-time movie.
Hunger Games.
Best singer on the team.
Me.
Player most likely to fall asleep on the bus.
Me.
Best dresser on the team.
Once again, it's me.
Player most likely to become a football coach.
Probably AJ if you weren't going to the NFL.
Favorite holiday.
Christmas.
Favorite food.
Cheeseburgers or pizza, all American.
Favorite superhero.
Superman.
Your favorite class.
Government.
Favorite TV show.
Mythbusters.
Favorite band or musical artist.
Smash Mouth.
And your favorite emoji if you had an iPhone.
If I had an iPhone, probably Santa. So just cute.
And what's the best part about playing for Alexander?
You get to be a Spartan.
Every Monday, Coach Penrod passes out a new scouting report with a big quotation on the front. After 5 consecutive losses, Coach Penrod looked towards an ancient Greek Spartan motto to get his team ready for homecoming week.
Spartan Pride on 3. 1, 2, 3, Spartan Pride!
For Spartan warriors heading to battle, the phrase "come back with your shield" or "on it" stood for an expectation to fight with bravery until they couldn't fight anymore. Fight with honor and represent the Spartans with pride.
For us, that means till the clock runs out or until we can't physically walk off the field ourselves. We just keep fighting and keep digging.
Even if we're gonna go and the outcome doesn't look good, even from the beginning, we're still gonna go and we're gonna fight the fight, and we're gonna fight until win.
A sense of urgency looms in Albany with only 1 victory in the win column and less than a month of play remaining. As the team prepares for a homecoming battle, they are challenged to reflect on what it means to don the distinguished red and black Spartan symbol.
We win this game. Let's fight hard. Fight to the whistle. Every play. Be a Spartan.
Every time I think of Spartan, I always think of just never quitting, just persevering in any situation, trying to tackle whatever situation you're going through. Just try and do whatever you can to the best of your ability.
We've always got to fight as hard as we can because we're always going to be down. And we got to be able to push through adversity.
No matter what setbacks they may face or whether a win or loss shows on the scoreboard, the motto remains the same: never retreat and never surrender. That is Spartan law.
And never give up until it's over. You keep fighting, keep grinding, keep going until there's nothing left for you to do.
And this is our chance to redo what we have done in the season. We got to step up and win tonight. We need to win better, more than ever right now.
It's you versus them. They've got everything to lose, and so do we. Go out there, fly around. Assignment football, 100% flying around football.
Take it to heart. Feel it tonight. Let's do this as one unit, as one family, as one team.
Well, that does it for this episode of Grind to Shine. And as we hit the tail end of the season, make sure you're still following with us on social media. Our handle is @Spartan Endzone. And Coach Penrod tells us that he's dying to answer your fan questions every week for Penrod's Place. So make sure you log into Facebook on Saturday and comment your questions.
Yeah, but until then, make sure to be at the homecoming game tomorrow where the Spartans are primed and ready to get back in the win column. And come say hi to us in the stands. We love hearing from all you guys. So I'm Patrick Klinger, he's Nathan Wiseman, and we'll see you next Thursday.